Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always wins. Come on, let's get into it. I seem to be having some problems here. I'm not sure what's happening. Give me a chance, people. Oh, I think I know what happened. Jesus. I have too many things open. So if you hear me doubling up, that's crazy. Good night, everyone. Good night. How's everyone doing out there? Young Cryptic. Yeah, me early. Me decided to say, you know what? Can't wait no longer for this, man. I was trying to schedule it so that my timing was right, but it wasn't working. So I decided to just jump on. Probably not the smartest move to make. And now I just messed up my whole setup. But I'll get it back actually. So how's everyone good in this evening? How you doing? Let me try to get this thing up. How you doing? Bless Mr. Elm. How you doing? Mr. Elm, Brownman Security. So we're here to talk football, people, as we normally are. And I haven't been doing any football of late. I was busy doing a lot of track and field. Bless up, Eagle Republic. And thanks for checking in. And people, we know the drill as you come in, what you need to do. So I was doing a lot of track and field and in terms of the World Championship in Tokyo, Japan. And extremely pleased with Jamaica's performance, actually. Coming third in the overall medal count, even though we only had one gold medal. But that gold medal for Oblique Civil was well-deserved, predicted by some, including Leighton Levy and ancillary, I'm going to call it, Otter Bolden. So good thing for Jamaica. And now we're back to football. So we had the previous first round in September, where Jamaica won its 2 games against Bermuda. And I'm going to say luckily against Trinidad, because I thought Trinidad was a better team. Some people may not like me saying that, but it's true. But regardless of who was a better team, it no matter. The team won, and we're now into round 2 of the qualifiers. And I'm extremely pleased about where we are. Now, we're here to talk about the squad that has been announced for the qualifiers. But if we just put up on the screen, these are the standings for Jamaica. And I'm jumping right into this, people. I don't take enough time because this program's about maybe just over an hour. If we think about the World Cup qualifiers, the goal is to get to the World Cup. That's the objective. World Cup. Nothing else. And we don't want to do it by playing any qualifier from Oceania or South America. We want to do it straight. We have a maximum of 18 points that we can obtain from these qualifiers. There's 6 games, 3 home, 3 away. If you win all your home games, if you win an away game, you draw the other 2, I'm sure you qualify. Right? So Curaçao has 4 points. If we draw a Curaçao away and beat them at home, we're good. But we got to be able to win, and the office is not a guarantee. Now, we've had a number of surprises in the first round. You look at those standings, and you see Panama has 2 points, which is not normal, given where they stand in CONCACAF. You see Costa Rica, who struggled with Haiti, and they have 2 points with Haiti. And by the way, Haiti's a very good team. So we have the easiest of the zones here. If you look at this setup, we have the easiest, right? If you just look at the setups, we have the easiest of the zone. This was the previous zone. So we have as good a chance as any to go through, just given the first round performances. We're going to get to the Squad Eagle Republic. So just to set the stage, that we have 6 points. If we can hold Curaçao, we expect to beat Bermuda. Trinidad going to be tough away from home. So the two toughest away games are Trinidad, obviously, and Curaçao. I think I heard through the grapevine that Chong may not play for Curaçao. I thought he was brilliant in the game, the last game they played in Bermuda. So we'll see what happens there. But that's just the standing. Now I'll put up some comments and then we go to, because we also want to go to the press conference that the coach held. But before I do all of that, if you're in the New York region, so New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, my soccer team, I'm part of the executive body for this team. I played for them from the 90s through 20, whatever, lot of years, probably about 20 years. They're having their 50th anniversary at Nazareth High School this coming Saturday. emceeing the event. I think I've emceed it the last 8 or the 9 years. It's a great event. I'm actually going to drop a promotional video showing some of the things that we have at that event. We have a small play. We play some steel band music. A couple of promising artists will see a few songs. So it's running, as you can see there. It's from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. this coming Saturday. So if you're in the New York region, it's only $75. I know some of you are cheap and those like freeness, but some are calling out. So you can link me up for tickets to the event. This is my number on screen. Where my number ain't coming up? This is my number at the bottom there. So if you want tickets to the event, come and enjoy yourself. We will have Nick Perry as a guest speaker. Nick Perry is the former ambassador to Jamaica. He's a Kingston College old boy, by the way, but he was the ambassador to Jamaica during the Biden administration. He's been a councilman in New York for the longest, and then took the ambassadorial role. So he'll be the guest speaker, and it's politics time. So we have a couple of politicians who will stop by to give their 5 cents because it's time to try to get some votes. So, if you're in the New York region and you want to come to a nice event with good people, let me know, and I can get you tickets. Just give me a call. All right. Peace out. Thanks. Now we're gonna have a lot of comments on the squad. I'm gonna play the press conference where the coach was. And by the way, I have gotten a lot of I'm gonna call it negative feedback on my participation in these press conferences. People, if you come into the chat and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I'm not gonna pressure people for likes anymore. By the way, for those of you who hadn't subscribed, who have subscribed, and if you're a track and field fan, many of you who have really boost up the channel. So I was galloping towards 5,000. I'm now trickling towards 5,000. I think I'm 4,008 something, but I do appreciate all the new subscribers have come in. And obviously appreciate those who have been subscribers for since I started the channel last, a year now, just over a year. So I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. So back to the football. So I'll play the press conference. But what I was saying is I've got some negative feedback about my participation in press conferences. I was told by, people provide all these comments that I'm only in the press conference to show up the coach, right? That's what has been mentioned to me. I'm in the press conference to show the coach up. So I've decided to probably stay away from these press conferences, give them a break. And even though you couldn't participate today because you can't do it remotely, but I don't want people to believe that my only objective in these press conferences is to try to show how smart I am or to show up the coach. That's not the objective. The objective is to ask the questions that people want to know answers for. Or things that we discuss on this channel that people are very curious about. Bless up Tycoon, Ted Dexter, thanks for joining. Tuffy Rudy, Eagle, Rob Smith. So the goal is not to show up anybody. And I find that comment interesting because I was listening to the press conference that Thomas Tuchel had for England, and I thought the questions were very intrusive, especially around Billingham. And I sat there thinking that, because I'm doing a comparative between Jamaica's press conferences and those that the English media have with their coach, and all this crying and complaining and whining about how we ask questions when those questions are much more intrusive, much more confrontational, right? Much more penetrative. And then we are the ones being told about how we're trying to show up the coach. It's amazing to me how that is. The question about Billy, I thought were interesting. Why wasn't in the team? Why didn't you pick him? And he just came back from injury. Is it because of the last time when you said something negative about him? Right? They're asking the question that people want to know the answers for. Why is Grealish out the team? They're asking the question people want to know answers for. So I didn't listen to the press conference, by the way, deliberately, because I want to play it and hear it when some of you who may have heard it before, those who haven't heard it, I want to listen to it at the same time. So bless up, Leon Griffiths. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Ted Dexter. I appreciate it. So yeah, I believe that if you're going to take the seat as the coach for the national team, then you know what? It's open season. You should be able to answer any questions, and you shouldn't be that any question is confrontational. You should answer the question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to answer it, even though I don't think it's right not to answer it. But you can provide your perspective how you want to. So anyway, only people you're showing up the coach is someone close to the team. I don't know why they would listen to. Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, hey Drew, don't forget to lick me, Drew. Me have a ticket, Drew, so don't forget to lick me. It's this Saturday, Drew. I probably should link it back again, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's asking a tough question. I just think that, these forums give us great insight into what I view as the majority want to know, right? Or a lot of people want to know. And if you're getting that information, then you're running a platform, then you should be providing that perspective to the authorities who are running the national team, who are in those press conferences, so you can bring it back to the people, right? Or they can see it and view it in a public domain. So, we get the view that we're toxic, or we get the view that we're trying to show up the coach, all sort of stuff. And that's not the goal, people. I mean, it's not that serious. Seriously, it's not that serious. So, and sometimes you just think about, maybe I should leave the football alone. Because the track fans are so much more understanding. You guys gonna hate me for saying that. They just seem to be different. Some of the people who are covering the football or involved in the football, both administrative and otherwise, are just more challenging to deal with. Track people just are different. That's what I'm finding. So my hope is that we need to understand that football is a very passionate sport, a very emotional sport. People are very invested in it. And if that's the case, then we got to expect the unexpected sometimes. Dwight York more clear on his mission. Dwight is getting a lot of pressure. People can't understand why Trinidad is not doing better. Bless up Jamaica vibes. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here, sir. Yeah, it's been a while. I've had a lot of stuff happening, actually, a lot of stuff. Apart from my track and field, a lot of stuff happening. So, but I'm back. So one thing we're telling the people on this channel who follow football religiously, they know more than the coaches about who's playing and who is off, and they just watch games that some of these players are in. Sometimes I watch games, sometimes I don't. Right? They watch all the games, and that's why I get very perturbed when people say you don't know the football, or you don't understand the football, or you don't know the players. They sometimes know the players more than the coaches know the players, right? Because a lot of Jamaica fans follow the players who are part of the 40, 50, 60, or even the ones who are on the fringes, or the ones who may not have gotten their papers yet, but we're interested in them. And so let's go to two things, actually, before I take more. And I was listening to the press conference today, and I must admit, and maybe this, I don't want people to say I'm an elitist, but how do I say this nicely? I wasn't impressed with some of the questions. Let me just say that. I wasn't impressed. That's why I probably didn't watch the whole thing. So I'm going to listen to it now. I find it cringeworthy, some of the questions. I just I can't listen to this. When I do this show, I'm just going to listen to it then. So let me play the press conference. First of all, let me just do this. Here's the squad, people. Here's the squad. I don't think there are any true surprises here. Maybe Seymour Reed. And we should talk about the players who are not here, the players who are here, but they will come at the press conference. So let me play the press conference. Some of you may have seen it already, and you're like, Cranky, don't go over it. I'm going to go over it. I'm going to play the press conference first. And then what I will do is We will then go through the squad in detail, and you can even pick your own team, frankly. So let me pull this up. We're going to play the press conference, and then we'll take it from there. We branch it out. I'm about to go buy my channel. Sorry, people. But jump ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much.
By the way, I don't know why it's so low. It was low when I started hearing it. You need to do a better job of having the volume up.
The matches are October 10 against Curaçao away at the Stadio Ergelio Hato, and at home against Bermuda on October 14. Just a reminder of those days. The first game, October 10, that will be 6 p.m. Jamaica time.
And I can't turn it up any louder, people, so you have to turn up on your end.
On October 14, the match will be at 7 p.m. Jamaica time at the National Stadium right here in Kingston. So those are the two matches in this October window. At the head table, we have the head coach of the Jamaica senior men's national team, Coach Steve McClaren. In terms of how this,
and I want you to take notes, people. Take notes so we can talk about it. Don't just listen. Take notes and put your comments in the chat.
The squad, we'll open the floor for questions from the media, and then we will close this morning. So again, thank you very much for everybody who's present physically and also virtually as well. So we'll now hand over to Coach McClaren, who will start with opening remarks before getting into the squad. Coach.
Thank you, Simon, and welcome, lady and gentlemen. It's great to be back in Jamaica. It's been a quick turnaround, but I think we like that. Try to keep the momentum. Picking this squad was just as difficult as picking the last squad, where the last squad we had many injuries, many fallouts in the last minute. And the players who came in did a great job. This camp, this squad, we have many of them players back fit, been training for a few weeks, and so back available. So in terms of injuries, players I couldn't pick for this squad were Warner Brown. Unfortunately, the ankle injury is sustained at the very beginning of the camp, which was very disappointing. It's still not recovered. We miss him. Mikel Antonio, who has been training with Brentford, doing very well. Unfortunately, he's pulled a calf and will be 2 or 3 weeks out, but he's still training with Brentford, so hopefully some things will work out with that. We have Leon Bailey, who he was desperate to come and help, but unfortunately he's just coming back from his injuries, back on the grass this week, working with the team, and we feel it's best that he focuses on getting fit and getting into Roma's team and being available for the November window. Long-term missing Deshaun Bernard. I met him last week at the Sheffield Wednesday game, where he was in good spirits, rehabbing very well, but still quite a few weeks away from coming back to fitness. As I said, picking this squad has been difficult because of the players that are available. We have coming back in Andre Blake, whose first 2 games clean sheets, so that's good to see. Latiberdiere, who for the past 4 or 5 weeks has been back in training with Coventry. They're playing so well and obviously top of the league. It's difficult for him to break in, but because of Latiberdiere's attitude, what he brings to the camp in terms of he can play left back, right back, centre back, he can play midfield, very versatile. but also very, very good for the team. So we welcome him back. Ethan Pinnock has had a couple of games back, training for 4 or 5 weeks. So he's in better condition. Amari Bell, who missed the last camp with a groin injury, has been playing. I think he was on the bench today, came on for 30 minutes. So it'd be good to have him back. Bobby Reid, he played today, and we've missed him. So we welcome him back. Damari Gray, who's made a very good start at Birmingham and looks more like his old self again. We welcome him back. Roman Burrell, who unfortunately we left out of the last squad, but comes into this one. He's been doing well for QPR. Went to watch him last week at Sheffield Wednesday. Did very well. So that's great. We have 2 new additions coming in. We have Ian Frey, who I've been following for the past year and had conversations with him. He's had injuries. He's trying to establish himself in the Inter Miami team. He's done that. He felt the last camp he wasn't quite ready. But this camp, he feels fit, well and ready and wants to commit to Jamaica, which conversations I've had, he's always wanted to do that. Again, Ian gives us great flexibility, playing right back for Inter Miami, has played centre back, has played 6, 8 in midfield. So again, another player who gives us versatility. And one addition who we've kept an eye on for quite a while is Seymour Reid, who I first saw training with Freddie Butler's team, the under-20s. Under-17, sorry. A few months ago. I was impressed. I've watched him in the second team. And now he's in the first team. He's getting appearances, coming on, scoring goals. Very young, not 18 yet. He's one for the future, but we want to get him in and have a look at him. And so I really look forward to seeing Seymour training with us. That leaves out from the last squad, and I've put on standby Kyle Duncan. Did a great job in training for us. Ronaldo Webster came on the last time, created a goal for us, and Kevin Lambert, who was also very unlucky not to make an appearance the last time, but their attitude, intensity in training was what made the camp so good last time. So they will be on standby. And the focus, the only focus is Curaçao for the next game. We've had a good start. We need to continue the momentum. It will be a very difficult game. I have a very, very experienced coach, Dick Advocaat. I know well from his time also in England. They have a squad full of Dutch players. So the Dutch play a certain style, a certain way, and Dick's certainly got them doing that. So I know that very well. Very good players, very technically very good, and obviously playing at home on the artificial surface will give them an advantage. But you know, the roll of the ball will be smooth. It'll be like playing on grass. So we have no excuses for that. So the focus is purely on getting the squad together tomorrow, checking on the injuries after today and tomorrow's games, making sure everybody comes through, and then focus on preparation for the game. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions? And I'll take them.
Thank you very much, Coach. Before we open the floor for questions, just a reminder of our persons who are physically here and not virtually. Goalkeepers, Andre Blake, Jamali Wade, Tafari Chambers. The defenders, Joe Latipodir, Ethan Pinnock, Richard King, Dexter Lambakisa, Greg Lee, Damien Lowe, Amari Bell, Mason Holgate. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Ian Frey, Bobby Reid, John Russell, Karoy Anderson, Joshawn Anglin, Casey Palmer. And the forwards, Bailey Tai Kadamatari, Shamar Nicholson, Roman Burrell, Demarai Gray, Kaheem Dixon, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, and Seymour Reid. For questions from members of the media, please use the microphone in front of you to pose your question to Coach McClaren. So please stand up and use the microphone directly in front of me to pose your question to Coach McClaren. Thank you.
Good morning, Coach. Reggae Boyz from the Jamaica Gleaner. Coach, last window, 2 wins, a great start, but you were missing a lot of the more marquee players due to injuries. Now, with several of them coming back in, how more confident or more improved the squad is for these 2 games now, especially against Curaçao away?
Yes, we did. We had quite a few missing. They've come back. We hope with their experience, their knowledge, and the way that they've been playing, performing. They're great additions. Unfortunately, for the first game, we do lose Isaac Hayden and Casey Palmer through suspension, through booking. So they will be a big miss for us. But they'll be available for the second game, so we fly them out a little later. But yeah, I'm not saying the squad is stronger this time. It's just different. And what we want is the same level of performance, the same level of intensity in training, preparation, focus, and same performance of spirit, fight, and good football in the game against Curaçao. That's what we're looking for from the group.
And a follow-up question regarding that. The next game against Curaçao, they're expected to be our biggest test in this group now for the automatic qualifying spot. How important is it that you can able to bring these players in after being missing from injuries to get that right performance, to get all 3 points and continue this good start for Jamaica?
Momentum is key, so it's important that we carry that forward. We hope there's not too much disruptions with the new players coming in, but there shouldn't be, because they've been regulars all the way through for the past year since I've taken over. And Curaçao is a difficult game, but Bermuda is no easy game either to get by. And obviously we have Trinidad away from home as well. So they're very difficult games. As I said last time, I was impressed with Trinidad, the way they've progressed and come forward. Difficult opponents at home, so they'll be looking for revenge. And obviously the 2 games against Curaçao, whatever happens, I think, it goes to the third camp and the last 2 games. And I just hope that by the end of this camp, we're in a good position to battle for the top spot.
A final question, Coach. Before the qualifiers had begun, the JFF had put out a watch list of players, including the likes of Rico Henry, of course, long-term target Mason Greenwood. With this window and the November window left, what are the chances of we seeing those persons playing for Jamaica before the qualifiers end?
I can't answer that question. As I said, the last time they weren't involved, and this time also. So we focus on the players who are here, and believe you me, all the players on the list, and I think we put about 50 players on that list. We're following every 50 player very, very closely. So we've got 2 camps to go. Hopefully we have a clean bill of health come Monday for this one, and then November will be different again.
Thank you, Bryce. David?
Morning, Coach. Morning, Simon.
Morning.
Coach, you have won the league in Netherlands, and we know that the Curaçao team comprises of players mainly from Netherlands. Coach, what can you say, taken from your experience over there, can you tell us about the Curaçao team, how prepared your experience will assist us with the Curaçao team?
I think it's the amount of analysis and the amount of times that we can watch opponents. It doesn't matter where they're from. We know a lot about them, and they know a lot about us. Yes, it could be an advantage because, I managed in Holland and know the style of play and followed Dick Advocaat for many years. and they play good football. They want to play football. They want to build from the back. They want to dominate games. Want to be creative up front. And you see from the recruitment that they've made over the last few months, you know, you saw the performances in the Gold Cup, you know, narrowly beat by Canada. You know, Honduras, they look very good against them, and so we know what to expect. Will be very, very difficult. We need to defend very well, but also when we have the opportunity, play football and try to use our speed as much as possible against them.
Coach, on the squad now, the last time around, in the last round of games, we saw where you made 2 changes. We saw where you made a change at halftime where you brought on Kara Anderson in the second half, 15 minutes in the second half of both games. See now Isaac Hayden will be out. How important is the likes of Kara Anderson and even Ian Frey coming in this team to fill that void for the first game?
I mean, one of the key things that we do say to the squad at the beginning of every game is we call them starters and finishers. So they're not subs, they're finishers. So we hope to be in a position of control, and people need to be ready to come on and impact. So, you know, the key thing is having trust in these players that they can come on and do the job. Kieroy has done that a couple of times now. Anglin came in very, very well. Kahim and Shamar really impressed us when they came on against Trinidad. Mason Holgate, disappointed not to be starting, came on 20 minutes in each of the games and made sure that we kept the lead that we had. So for me, yeah, the 11 who start, obviously important, but for me the most important people are the people on the bench, because the game's over 95 minutes. And what we have learned in the Caribbean is because of travel, because of the heat, because of the intensity of the games, that from one game to the next, we do need to look at that and maybe change a few players, which we did last time, and make sure that we've got an energy and attitude for both the games.
Thank you, Coach.
Morning, Coach. MJ
Morning.
Sports here. Update on the Macy Green situation.
No update, same as it was the last time. He's not committed to us as yet.
Yes, okay. Whereas the forward line is concerned, still the players who are having the forward line lacking in goals, and we have Trivantes who are right now, last 5 games, 3 goals, in really good goal scoring form. Is he in any content idea of being seen or being called up at any time soon?
Sorry, who was that?
Trevante Stewart.
Yes, player we've followed from his time in Serbia last year. Got a good move to Maccabi Haifa, and we certainly have watched him a lot. And I got to say, you know, Shamar has such a good record in Caribbean football, playing for Jamaica, that you know, when we looked at the squad last time, Trevante was very close with Shamar, and Shamar got the nod for coming in. But Trevante is definitely one player that we are following very, very closely and in contact with, and making sure that we still follow him. You know, these players have to follow the form and play well for their clubs, obviously, but be fit. Some players we trust already and have got kind of money in the bank, shall we say. And new players coming in have to earn that trust when they come in. So, yeah, Trevante is somebody that we are following very closely.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Simon.
Morning.
Coach Tyrese Hall, he's on loan at Notts County from Tottenham, and he's been in fine form this season. 4 goals in 7. He actually played a part in all 3 of the goals today. How closely are you looking at him, and is there any hesitation at this point in bringing in new players at this juncture in order to build that chemistry with the core, given that there are only 4 games left?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the case of Seymour Reid, who, we're trusted. We're not going to bring 3 or 4 of these talented youngsters in at once. The most important thing is qualification for the World Cup and winning these games. Tyrese Hall is somebody we followed for a long time. Great that he got a move to Notts County. Started on the bench, few minutes. Now he's starting. Now he's producing. He was so close to being in this squad. But obviously we can't pick everybody. And at this present moment, we've looked for experience, people who know the region, the travel, the area. But Tyrese is definitely someone for the future, and very close to a call-up.
Yeah, and just quickly, is there any hesitation from your point in terms of bringing in new players at this juncture, given we only have 4 games left?
Absolutely not. If they're good enough, they'll be in the squad. And players have come to the fore, like Seymour, like Tyrese Hall, that we've been looking at, like Tyrese Campbell, and Roman Burrell in the Unity Cup. No hesitation in bringing in younger players. If they can do the job, give us the energy and the attitude, they'll be in the squad.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. Marlon?
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, with the return of Bobby Reid and Demarai Gray, can you outline the exact roles you see for them in this upcoming window?
No.
You don't want to give away any secrets, eh? All right, Coach. And then follow up as well. You mentioned last window we had some last-minute injuries, and because of that, we had to call up some local players to help out the squad. Can you outline any of those players you might have on a short list in case of an emergency? We have to call up some of them.
Yeah, all the players who came to the last squad, I've contacted and are on standby. The local players like Topi coming in, was great to see him. He's a talent, and we'll be watching him closely again. So we have an opportunity tomorrow to go watch a few games. It's. I think the message is that the squad we pick is not necessarily the one that will take us all the way to World Cup qualifications, and there's no room or no space or no opportunities for other players or younger players to break into the squad. There is opportunity. We are watching all the time, and what we want is competition for places and no complacency for people who have maybe been in the squad and been in a team and been automatic choice for let's say 1, 2, 3 years. I don't want that to be the case. We want energy and attitude, and the players who produce that will be in the squad.
Coach, you mentioned Curaçao. Can you outline this host of the specific opponents factor in its selection of the team compared to the selecting the best players available?
Could you clarify that?
Meaning, do you look at who exactly we are playing in this window to decide who exactly is coming into the squad for this specific window, or you just look at the best possible players available in your eyes?
I think it's 2 of them things, both. I think we look at the opponent and how best to negate their strengths and take advantage of their weakness. So that might be in terms of changing system, changing tactics, changing outlook. Do we press? Do we drop? Do we build up? Do we keep possession? How often can we transition? What do we need to do to win? And as I said to you before, we start with 11, but the most important people in a football match are becoming the finishers, the people on the bench. And so that balance we need to get, because we've not just got this game, but to think about Bermuda as well. and come out with the points that we need to make sure we're in control of the group for the November camp.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Coach Simon. Siobhan from MG Sports as well. Coach, with a small possibility of us qualifying for the World Cup on October 14th, is there anything that you'd like to say to the fans here in Jamaica in regards to that particular game to fill out the stadium?
Our fans are the most important, I think. What I have also liked in the few last game was in Bermuda. We had quite a crowd of Jamaicans, and they're great support. They really come and support the team. Really, then to enjoy the game, to enjoy seeing people that they normally only see on TV and not come close to. So to give them fans that experience is great, and I'm not too sure whether there'll be many Jamaicans in Curaçao. Yeah, a few, but support, home or away, is the most important thing for us. I thought the support against Trinidad was excellent. I thought all the way through. They don't realise, and I think it's so important that, you know, once the Jamaican public they get behind the team, they accept what the squad is, they accept that, okay, some players that they want to be in are not in. Doesn't really matter. What we're cheering for and what we want is for Jamaica to succeed. So once the squad is named or the team is named, everybody, like they did against Trinidad, get behind the team. Make it difficult also for opponents, because I guarantee you we will have that intensity of spectators against Curaçao. We expect a full house, and everybody wants to beat us. So we have to deal with that. We want that kind of atmosphere at home, where it intimidates the opponent when they come out. So, yeah, the 12th man. It's and we're trying to make this National Stadium the office, and we need to carry on that momentum when Bermuda come. But first off, we have to make sure that we get some points against Curaçao.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siobhan. If there are any other questions? If not, we appreciate your presence this morning. It's greatly appreciated. Just a gentle reminder, again, the matches in this window, October 10 and 14.
All right, people. Let me come back. Full-fledged. We're back. Here's the squad. I picked up a bunch of notes from this. And just to acknowledge the people in the chat. See a lot of conversation happening about which player should be in. And those are healthy conversations, people. It's healthy. If you listen to, because I do a lot of analogy and comparisons, I should say, between, say, the press conference we have here and the more industrialized countries, especially, for example, the UK, or England, I should say, not the UK. And I see where people are asking about Grealish and Billingham and, Wharton, players who they believe to be in the team and they're not in the team. And one thing I realized, that a lot of these coaches, they must have the same notes, because they love the vibes thing and the chemistry thing, it seems. Because part of the rationale and perspective is that you don't get a lot of time with international football. It's a little bit of camaraderie. So if you heard, I heard the coaches talk about this today, about who was invited previous camp, who was invited this camp, why they got in. I thought some of his comments were really interesting, but I thought some of the things he said was the same thing that Tuchel said about why he selects certain players, right? People say, well, Grealish is playing really well. Why he's not in the team? And you select somebody else in the team. Like a Gordon, who only probably scored one goal in God knows how long for Newcastle. So the concept and how these coaches operate, I guess they probably went to the same school in terms of how you think about these things. I may have a little bit different view about some of this, but let's touch upon some of the things that he talked about. And by the way, Eddie Gooner, because, Eddie has his own channel. Thanks for the super chat, Eddie. And Eddie said he's not giving me any Jamaican money, because that was $4.50 Jamaican. I was going to wonder what I could buy with it. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it. I had to go back and find this. I should pin it. But a couple of things. When he talked about injuries to Brown and Antonio. Now, I think one of the questions that people should ask, which I'm not sure they phrase it the right way, is what is your methodology for picking the team? How you go about picking the team? Is it based on form? Is it based on minutes? Is it based on who you had in camp previously? Is it based on reputation? Is it based on pedigree? What is the criteria for team selection? Because I don't know. Maybe you guys know. I don't know. I'm going to give you some example. That's why I said I don't know. So that's the first thing. And I'm going to come back to that. Somebody mentioned in the chat Foden also. Yeah, they mentioned Foden. They mentioned Grealish. They mentioned Wharton. They mentioned a few more players. But you can only pick 26 or 23, right? And there's never be consensus about the totality of who is in the team. There's always somebody get missed out or wasn't excluded who people think should be. He mentioned injuries to Brown and Antonio. And someone in the chat says, well, you keep mentioning Brown as a Brown surety. I have the same view, which is Brown a sure pick for the team where you keep mentioning it? He had a good start to his career, so you can't beat him for that. But I thought that was an interesting point. And Antonio wasn't played any competitive football. I don't care how much he's training. The difference between matches, playing in games, and playing in practice, and he hasn't played any football, and he would have brought him if he wasn't injured. I thought that was interesting. So Brown and Antonio, and if you look at the squad, you say to yourself, okay, so he brought back Romain Barrel. Nobody asked the question as to why he brought him back and he didn't bring him the last time. What changes? Is it that you can think about Romain and Seymour are easy to drop next time for Bailey and for Antonio? I found that interesting, actually. Because apart from Bailey and Antonio are going to automatically come in when they're ready. I guess Burrell and Reed are easy to drop. So we'll see how that works out. I find that interesting. Secondly, talk about the squad was difficult to. He said the squad was difficult to pick, but at the same time saying he's not going to say this one is better than the last one. But if you had 8 players out and you pick the best of all those 8 players, so if you had 8 players out or 10 players out, 2 didn't come back, so Bailey didn't come back, nor did Antonio. Shouldn't this be a better squad you're picking than the last one? If you pick your squad based on who was available the first time, or we can't tell because we don't know what the criteria is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. That's part of my confusion. He said attitude make camp good. Same thing Tuco said when asked about the squad and vibes, and that's why I left bidding him out. And by the way, let me just say this. Colin Quest, you have been one of those subscribers who continually contribute to me being able to keep running this channel. And Colin, truly appreciate that your super chat, Colin. Thanks a lot because you continually do that, and I appreciate you, sir. Appreciate it, Colin. Thanks. So he said Palmer and Hayden are missing. So here's where I start having headaches. So we keep having an unbalanced squad when we select this squad. It's very unbalanced. Look at the squad. 3 goalkeepers, standard for anybody. And I think they had a team. It's my understanding there was about 40-something players that they select this 26 from. And there are a couple more goalkeepers included. And a number more players like Hall and Johnston, all of them. They just have a bunch of players they throw on a wall and then they call the ones who are available, right? So if we go to, let's go defenders first and then we'll come to midfield. And I'll tie it back to my things I jotted down from here. So Palmer and Hayden are missing the midfield. So if Palmer and Hayden are missing, that means we have Frey, Reed, Russell, Anderson, Anglin. Now, I would assume that Frey is a CDM, even though I never trust Frey's legs. He's always injured. You know, he's playing right back and he plays center backs also. Reed is a 10, but he can be versatile and play 8. K. Roy is a CDM, but he can play 8. I don't know where I'll put Anglin, and Palmer won't be available. Wouldn't you want to have another midfielder? You know, someone asked a question about Tyrese Hall, who's not been capped yet, playing for Notts County, you know, scoring 3 goals and involving 3 goals the last time they played. And the question has been like, why wouldn't you call him? You call Seymour Reed, who's even younger. We're lacking midfielders. We need to groom midfielders. It's a no-brainer. Nah, you call him for CDM, though, yourself. I know he's a right back. I seen him play right back for Miami. He's had 2 ACL injuries. He called him for CDM, trust me. That's because Hayden is out. He called him for CDM. That's why he's in the midfield there. I know he's right back, but he also plays center back. he plays CDM also. He comes for CDM, that's why he's there. I put him in midfield, he didn't put him at right back. So why when you call Tyrese Hall, who's a dynamic number 8, you have John Russell who has not been producing, not getting much minutes at this club. You have Bobby Reed, who has been just back recently, started the last 2 games for Leicester, scored the game before, started his game the other day, didn't play the whole game. But you need another 8. So why would you call Hall? Especially the kid, not just the kid, to bring the kid in. You say bring Seymour in for experience. You need Hall more than you need Seymour in for experience. You already got about 7, 8 forward. You don't have enough midfielders. That's logic. And the logic is escaping me, especially when the kid is playing good. And I hear people like Jermaine Defoe raving about the kid and how good he is. And we can't see that, so we don't bring him up. The logic escapes me, people. But it's never logical when it comes to midfield, because I don't know what we're doing in the midfield. We don't know what we're doing in the midfield. And I don't think Latti has played a lot of competitive football. I didn't see him in the squad today. Was he in the squad today? I don't think he played or was in the squad. I didn't see him. So maybe I'm missing something. So he's coming here to do what? I love Latti as a player, trust me. But if you ain't playing any football, this is not the time to go practice. This is not the time to get fit. So I don't understand the calling up of Seymour Reed, who I know the kid is playing well, versus that Tyrese Hall, where that's more of a need for Hall, more than need for Seymour Reed. And Hall is a more long-term stay because we don't have good midfielders. We just don't. We have a ton of forwards. We have Antonio to come. We have Trevante Stewart. And I don't understand how Trevante Stewart is not in the squad. So when you call Mark Ramon Burrell this time around, you didn't call him the last time. But Stewart, who had the same violation that Bailey did, 3 years ago, can't get a call back. He scored 4 goals in the league in Israel. The logic escapes me. Who's making these decisions? And also, overall, when I think about the team, we seem to have a problem with our players getting minutes in their team. The other day, Pinnock didn't finish the game or didn't start game. And also, there's one player who's not here, who I'm very surprised is not here, even though he hasn't played a ton of football. So if Latti hasn't played a lot of football, and this player has EPL pedigree, now Rico Henry was not called. Can somebody tell me why Rico Henry wasn't called? It is my understanding that Rico Henry has his passport. He's available. Now, I know the last window, I think they probably tried to call him last window and he didn't come because he may think he needed to play more football, but they didn't call Rico Henry. Can somebody tell me why Rico Henry wasn't called? I'm curious. I know we have 2 left backs in Greg Lee and Amari Bell. I know those are 2 very good players for the team, and I've played well for the team. But you can't have too many good players. And Rico plays in a that's not a change. I don't know. I was told that Rico is available by a good source. So I haven't go check FIFA website to see if he changed nationality or allegiance. But I was told today actually by someone that he's available to be called. So if he hasn't changed his allegiance, that's one thing. But that information was given me today that he's available and ready to go. So I don't know. I have to go check the FIFA platform. And maybe it was done a while ago. We haven't seen it. But look, we'll never have consensus on who should be in the team from a 23-man standpoint or 26. Never. That doesn't happen. At the same time, you should have like 20 who you're sure of and maybe 6 who in each different. Nobody cares about the goalkeepers. If Andre Blake's there, nobody's struggling, even though Jamali Waite didn't cover himself in glory the last round. In fact, Jamali Waite was poor in the Trinidad game. Every shot that goes in bounces off his chest. And I rate Jamali Waite, especially with his feet. But against Trinidad, you'd think he's never kicked a ball in his life. He had a 97% passing accuracy against Bermuda. If he had 50%, he'd be great against Trinidad. He was poor. So maybe it's a one-off game. Let's hope that way. Demar said Webster should be there over Holgate. Yeah, I mean, look, though the coach is going to go with what he knows. Someone said Rico hasn't played for England, so he hasn't switched. No, I was told today that Rico is available for selection, and he wasn't called up. I was told that today. The coach said somewhat that Boz and Stewart are carbon copy each other, but Boz, I guess, is not because of his familiarity around other players in this. Yeah. So They are center forwards. Bowser, Stewart, Kadamarti, Burrell. Unless he's saying Burrell give him more flexibility. He's not playing Burrell anywhere except center forward. He ain't playing him on the wing. So I don't. The coach say a lot of things sometimes, and you just shake your head. Yeah, the question is, does he have to change allegiance? I don't know. I have to look that up, actually. The coach will tell you what you want to hear to substantiate or justify what he does. He does that. He'll tell you what you want to hear so you can substantiate or justify what he does. And sometimes it doesn't make any sense, to be honest. Right? Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. And he doesn't get pushed. And some of the questions are just... The questions need to be better sometimes. Some good questions are asked. I thought the question about Greenwood by MG was a good question, which is what the status is. And I heard people saying, well, commentators saying Greenwood hasn't done X, Y, Z. People, from what I know, nobody knows why Greenwood hasn't changed allegiance. From what I know, nobody knows why. From what I've been told, nobody knows. So we can come up with all sort of stuff, which is his handlers or his trainers or he's waiting for England. We can all speculate, but I was told that nobody knows. And he's been silent and his camp has been silent. So, and I'll be very surprised if he comes in any of the 3 windows. Right? I'll be shocked if he comes in any of the 3 windows. I don't think he's gonna come. And you don't know why he's gonna come. Now look, I've said it before when I did my reaction video to Maverick, which is when you go through so much trauma and drama, you may be not shy in the literal sense of shy, but you may just want to make the change to make sure it's available to go when you want to go. But I think the lack of communication is not a good thing. DeMar, that's not the case, actually. Maverick said the same thing. That's not the case. That's not the case because work permit for where, DeMar? Let me understand that work permit item. I think I negated that or diffused that in my video, but let me know what you're talking about. It's a work permit for Europe. I think he says not committed yet to Jamaica, right? He's not committed to Jamaica. Committed mean the difference between me being committed to the country and me not committing. So we gotta bifurcate that. It's a little bit different from what you're thinking. He's basically saying he hasn't decided to take the call. I'm sure the call is still out there, but he may never come. And if he doesn't come, life goes on. Let him go live his life, and we live our lives and we move on. It'd be good to have him because he scored in the Champions League the other day. I watched the game, part of the game. Yeah. What, Abe Henry? What, Abe Henry? What are you talking about? You think easy for Jamaican to get visa to come out anywhere in the world, for come out US or any of those countries? Really? You think it's easier? You're saying because he had this problem, he can use a Jamaican passport to circumvent the process? I don't think so. I don't think that worked. Stop it, Cranky. The entire world is saying no to this kid, and we are saying yes, and he's dissing us. You went through the jail to get papers. We have people time. Rob Smith, don't tell me to stop anything, Rob Smith. You stop your nonsense. If you're going to go hard at me, I'm going to go hard at you too. Don't tell me to stop anything. I give my perspective. You don't like it? Tough. Get over yourself. Well, we have to get to the World Cup first. Oh, no, we have to get to the World Cup first. We're not people. We act like we're in the World Cup. Yeah, we have 6 points. Yeah, we did great in the first window. Let's see what happens. Let's wait till after the Curaçao game to make any perspective as to where we are. I was watching when I listened to fans of the Premier League, for example, talk about Liverpool. I thought Liverpool won the league already after the first 5 games. Right now, they're in second place. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. We haven't played Trinidad away. We haven't played Curaçao away. We're missing Hayden for this game, which is he's the most important player for Jamaica. Let's just wait. Yeah. Well, me not drink soup. So me not drink soup. Well, me not drink soup. We'll have meat tonight. So me not eat meat. So me not soup thing. You need to apply US with a British passport. Yeah, but even if you have a British passport, it doesn't guarantee you. And I know this personally, not me, but I've had family member who applied through ESTA and applied directly to British passport and still didn't get through for whatever reason. And they don't have any record either. They don't have any criminal record. So you don't think Green would have any either because his case was not prosecuted. So I don't know why. I don't know why Eamon ran. I mean, we all can speculate. I see why I get it. People were running the narrative that he got it because he wanted to get the exclusion to be a local player versus a foreign player in the French league. Well, that only applies if Jamaica was a French colony. And last time I can tell, I think Haiti was. I don't think Jamaica was. I think all those French-speaking countries were, like Martinique and Cameroon. I don't think Jamaica was. So I don't think it applies to him for the French league. I don't think it applies to him for the Spanish league. I don't think it applies to him for the Italian league. I'm getting confused as to what that rationale is. I'm not going to speculate anymore about Greenwood and his rationale for not coming. I was very upset when he didn't come because I was kept abreast of the process from inception to when he got his papers. And I was shocked when he didn't commit because I was told from excellent source that he would commit. So I was very disappointed. And my video at the time said it. But I've had a chance to sit back and think about it and says, you know what? When you go through all that trauma and drama he's been through, he's got to make his decision. It is what it is. Jamaica get an exempt from what? That's not what I read actually. So we should revisit that. That's not what I read. I think I printed out on the thing actually. If they do get an exemption, then yeah, I keep getting, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me when people are saying the Smith Rowe qualified for Jamaica because he was cap tied. And I went to a source, somebody with the JFF actually, who told me he's cap tied. And then somebody has called me and tell me, no, he's not cap tied. And they worked me through the numbers and his birth date and when he played. And they went back to the same source and the source says, oh, no, he's not cap tied. So nowadays, it's like you on the internet. I don't know what to believe and who to believe. So I like to get the data myself first and assess the data. I did read through some of the requirements and it did suggest to me that he doesn't qualify, but who knows? Oh, Lord. Here goes Reggae Boyz. Fucker. Much of the world support Greenwood, mostly Manu women and British. No, it's not Manu women. Reggae Boyz. Fucker. It's not Manu women. There are a lot of people. There are people in Jamaica who don't support Greenwood. What's the name of the guy from Sport Max who basically says he don't want Greenwood in his team? I forgot his name. He has a funny name. He basically says he don't want Greenwood in his team. People, look, I am not going to knock anyone who says what he has allegedly done doesn't resonate well with them. That's their prerogative. I may challenge their perspective because he wasn't convicted. And I believe until you get convicted, then you get a person the benefit of the doubt, no matter what you see on pictures, or what you hear. But hey, it is what it is. Too much Greenwood. We have to talk about the squad. Enough of Greenwood. Greenwood is not here. We should leave Greenwood alone. If Greenwood comes, he comes. Shane says soup, but they follow Maverick and him soup nonsense. Now, what do you think about the squad, people? Give me your perspective on the squad. I did drop some. Who do you think is most hard done about not being in the squad? Is it Campbell? Is it Stewart? Is it Johnson? Is it Hall? I think I had that on my list in a poll I was running. Who do you think is the most hard done? Oh, man said Lambert. I think Lambert has had his chance though. I heard Chong will be out actually. That's what I heard to chorus. So people get excited. I saw him play against Bermuda. He was very good, by the way. Says Stewart and DJ by a mile. Yeah, I think people are saying, what the hell happened to DJ? Because he's playing in the Turkish league. He's getting game time. Here's my concern, people. We have a lot of people not getting any game time. Seriously. A lot not getting any game time or limited game time. It still hurt. Oh, people says Ravel. I think Ravel is being forgotten. It's amazing how we bring in Antonio, even he's not playing any football. And Antonio is not being prolific for Jamaica. And we don't give Ravel the same latitude. So it could be attitude. It could be how much vibe the person brings to the camp. Because you hear Tuchel and you hear this coach talk about the vibe. So I said Norman Campbell, Daniel Johnson, Norman Campbell, Trevante Stewart, Tyrese Hall. Those are the four names that jump out at me, actually. Nora Self said DJ. Yeah, I think people are challenged as to why DJ is not yet. Jamalo, Jamalo starts up front. Who does Jamalo start up front? Who start up front with? Who you play for? He's play for is he at Sheffield Wednesday? I think he starts up front with Conor Marty, doesn't he? If I'm not mistaken. The camera form is cool. Yeah, Henry. I think given the need in midfield, so you gotta focus where your needs are. I find it amazing, and Tyrese Hall's form and his potential. I find it amazing he's not in the squad. Seriously. I find it amazing that people like well, there's nobody there to push it, actually, is there? The new technical advisor, but then again, he only knows Cavalier players. Who else should I think about? The local coach does know. Sinclair may not. I don't know who is the person overseas should they have somebody who's doing the scouting overseas apart from the coach to help the coach? Because certain people only know local players. Yeah, I know. It's either DJ or Tyrese Hall, actually. No, that's not what the coach said, though, Damar, isn't he? It could be the case, Damar. We don't know. But he said they've been watching him, but they have not called him. You know what he said? I think there's been something going on between Jannar Johnson, Tyrese Hall, those two young kids. And people got to remember this, people. This is very important. We have to remember some of those young kids didn't get called for the under 20. And you never know the residual impact on those kids about not getting called. Remember Bailey Calamardi when he was blasted by a YouTuber about he shouldn't be in the team and XYZ because he went to play for England under 18 because Jamaica didn't call him and they tell him that, oh, no, you're not going to play if we call you. We're going to bring you for experience. Kids don't want no damn experience anymore. All those kids want to play. And if they're not playing, they go someplace else. You look at, what's his name? His name is slipping now. He's at Nottingham Forest. He'll come to me. Who was with us. They're not waiting for the big play. They're not waiting for game time. They want game time from day one. And if you don't play them, they're going to go someplace else. Are they going to say forget you? So I just think from the midfield, we're in dire need for midfield. Russell is not playing well. I don't care if he's scoring goal here and there. He's not playing well. You look at that midfield, it's woefully lacking. Hayden is not going to play get the more difficult of two games. I don't know what Frey's physical situation is. Bobby Reid is, to me, not fully fit yet, even though he's playing now. John Russell has not played well. Kara Anderson is in and out. Anglin and Palmer ain't playing. That midfield is woefully lacking. Now you can put Lati in there, but excuse me. I think Max. I don't want to say. I think Max and Archer. They need to go to Jamaica to get their papers. So I don't know if they went there Jamaica this window. They're gonna go this window, but they need to go get Jamaica to get their papers. Max Aaron, Karen Archer, those two actually. I know Phillips was in the mix for one time, but things went silent. Lewis Baker and Phillips went silent. They were all gung-ho at one point, my understanding. I don't know what happened. I think Baker papers are not what they're supposed to be. And then Phillips probably has aspiration for England because I hear somebody they're talking him up for England. So he may think that he's on the fence. I don't know. He may play great. Well, he's going to struggle not playing. He's going to play Gray in the 10, play Cephas at left wing, and play... I don't know who played right wing. Does he play Tyrese? He probably played Gray in the 10 and put Cephas on the left. You know, Cephas don't know how to pass any ball. So it would be interesting to see how the team works out. I did take a stab at Phillips from Crystal Palace. I did take a stab at putting together a team, actually. So I'll put up on the board. The Jamaica team is not that hard to pick, you know. The 11, a lot of times. Maybe one or two people. Not Phillips, I said Mitchell, I mean. What am I talking about Mitchell? Tyreek Mitchell, I mean. Not Phillips. Why is Phillips in my brain? Think about Calvin Phillips, who plays for England. I met Tyreek Mitchell, sorry. Mitchell was in the mix for a while, and I'm not sure what happened to him. Somehow he's dropped out. But I know that I was informed that Rico Henry is available. A lot of people say he's not in the switch. The question is, does he have to switch? I was told he was available and ready, and he wasn't called. That's what I was told. So maybe somebody should ask the coach that question if that's the case. Farmer says, Mark Sherman took himself at the October, so I don't know why now when he will be available. Okay. I know he was gung-ho at one time to come, so I don't know what happened. Look, I have a view that, look, if I am a Max Aarons, if I'm a Cameron Archer, if I'm a Tyreek Mitchell, if I'm a Mason Greenwood, and if I'm the coach, if I call you in 3 consecutive windows and you tell me no, and we make the World Cup, I'm not sure I can actually sacrifice somebody else to bring you in. I'm not sure about that. Now, I know we want to do well when we get to the World Cup, not just get there, but is it fair to do that? I know the last World Cup that happened with Simonis, bringing in people like Powell and some of those other people, and Sinclair and all of those, but is that fair to have people like Bell and Greg Lee play through all the qualifiers, get you there, and you say, you know what, I'm so sorry, but Rico Henry's, well, not Rico Henry, but Tyreek Mitchell is just better, and he's playing brilliantly, by the way. He's playing a wing back for Crystal Palace. He's playing really well. They're 18 or 19 unbeaten. He's overlapping a lot. He's scoring goals. He's on the end of things. He's crossing well. He'd be a good addition. But we play a back 4, so it'd be interesting. Odell says, whoever going to play in the October window, I don't want to see them on the World Cup squad. Yeah, well, I'll say this. Coaches want to win, so coaches don't really care sometimes. No. They don't have any allegiance. They don't think that way sometimes. They want to go there and do as best as they can. They want the best players. So that may happen. Yeah, well, you may be a warrior, but there's a better warrior. It's a tough one, right? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know how one managed that situation. So I'm actually the question. If Greenwood come in January and say we're ready, you guys say no? Let me hear from you guys. Yes, if Greenwood says in January, I'm ready to come now, you made the World Cup, and I want to play in the World Cup, and I want to come play for you guys, do we say no, stay where you are, you didn't want to come? Is that how it goes? When he would be by far our best player? I'm just curious, people. I'm going to drink some water in the meantime. Can I get the likes up to 200, please? No, Demar, I don't think we did a good job of pursuing some of these players. I think we do an atrocious job of pursuing some of these players, like really bad job. You tell him next campaign? That's a fair point, Academy. That's a fair point. You think it should be next, yeah. Let me tell you something. I don't know. I talk about this. The closer you get to the World Cup, you start looking at the teams in your zone, and you say, if we get 2 more players, we can get to the zone. You'll be amazed how your mind change. We know how we are. I understand the concept. And right now, we are probably very emotionally invested and very upset and perturbed about him not committing. But may I tell you something, people? If Green would tell the coach, say, I come, and he probably would be the best player on our team by a good distance, it'd be hard for the coach to say, nah, I'm not bringing you. Because here's the thing. He didn't say he's never going to come. All right? He's just not ready. Now, we want him to come now because it helps us with qualification. So Oda says, so cranky. Someone like Lemby who travel 11 hours every international break and help us make World Cup. Are you saying we may? That's Odell. It sounds very unfair, but life is not fair. I understand what you're saying, and it sounds harsh, but nobody's place in a team is guaranteed. So let me just say this. So England is going to go to the World Cup, right? And all the players who bring them to qualification, if somebody's playing better, they get dropped. We are one of the only places where people have this misconception. Now, I know that it's different, right? Because they're English.
the England players, so they don't have to change allegiance. But they didn't. If you change allegiance after we qualify, and the coach bring you in, would we lose our mind to say, you know what, this player deserves to go because he got us there? You could still lose your place based on injuries or how well you're playing. So let's use your analogy, right? About Lemby. So Lemby not playing well, he's not getting the team. Max Aarons is playing well. Do you bring Lemmy who's not playing well? No, let's not even use Max Aarons. Let's use Ian Frey playing right back for Inter Miami, and Lemby not playing well. And we have we have a young kid who come through the Manning Cup or the Costa Cup in schoolboy football, playing brilliant football, get a contract during that time period. And we say, you know what? He's playing better than Lemby. We wouldn't put him in the team. We just say the position is locked. No position is set in stone. Now, you may say, well, that's not a good analogy because these players were available or didn't make themselves available, and these kids weren't there. But it's the same concept, which is you will have to leave up players who got you there. That happens all the time. You will have to leave out players who got you to qualification for your World Cup squad. You will. You think about it this way. I don't know. Those analogies, I'm not even go that far. Let's think about this, people. So you have 26 players here now, right? Odell? So Romain Barrel has flown all the way from England to come here, multiple windows. Sometimes we call him, sometimes we don't call him. If Antonio comes in, and he's going to help us with qualification, right? Say Antonio don't come in next window, and Bailey don't come in next window. And he'll come in the November window. When he comes to pick the World Cup team, and it's between Romain Barrel and Antonio is fit. You think Romain Barrel is going to keep his place, even though he'll help us to get us there? Similar for Tyrese Campbell, for example, with a Bailey. It's between Tyrese and Bailey. You think it's Tyrese going to make the team or Bailey going to make the team? There'll be a number of players who got us to the World Cup who will not be in the squad. That's just life. And it's no different from club football. There are players, when you get promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, sometimes half the team, when Nottingham Forest came up, they bought 12 players. All those players who fought blood, sweat, and tears, who played 40-something games in the Championship, and they got to the Premier League and just dumped them. That is how life is. It's unfair. Unfair. So nobody's game is set in stone. Nobody's guaranteed a game. We all understand that you help qualify, you expect to get there. But if somebody's better and the coach think they're better, it's hard luck. So if you say him like old player, if you're over 28. 28 is up. Nowadays, players playing their mid-30s in the toughest. You have to be very careful with that. No, and I agree, Rob, but that's the player's prerogative, right? So, yeah. Can't you think about team chemistry and morale, too? You just can't pick players or dump players without long-term repercussions. Yes, I hear this coach talking about morale and chemistry, and I hear Tuchel say the same thing. I just think international football is pick up team. I just think it's a pick-up team. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Because this question was asked of Tuchel, and I thought about this. We've asked this question before. They asked Tuchel about his design, his system, and he really couldn't answer the question. And he's very new to the England team. What system do we play? What design do we have? What's our style of play on this team? Can anybody tell me? This coach has been here over a year now. What is our style of play on this team? What methodology do we employ or deploy when we play? Can anybody tell me? Because I'm confused. I have no idea. Or we just play football. Let's roll the ball and play football. It happened to Paul Young and Freddie Butler, Michael Woodburn for 98. Yes, it happened to Paul Young, who's still not getting over it. Happened to Freddie Butler. I think Freddie Butler and Paul Young were the ones who got dropped, right? If I'm not mistaken. And Butler now coached the under-17 team. So, yeah. Rob Simmons says, all I know, if I drop from man who refuses to come back, can't call me again. But here's the thing, people. Rob Smith. I think sometimes we have an inferior perspective about some of these things. What do I mean by that? When people get dropped from England, I don't hear people say, well, we're not come back. The only player I've ever heard, they're not going to be the England team when they had a problem with the coach was Ben White, and they haven't called him back since. His form has not been great of late. But Ben White, but Southgate lied about the Ben White situation. Because Ben White come out and says, you know what, the reason why I didn't go for England because I have a problem with the coaches. And they lied. They just plain out lied about it. The point I'm trying to make is that nobody in a country, when you get dropped, you get dropped. And if you get called, you should be happy. So if you just say, I'm not coming back, you don't call me, you think, wait, first of all, you're the one going to lose. Because you're the one not playing international football. Somebody going to replace you. Somebody going to gladly replace you. Nobody's indispensable, people. So this concept, well, if you don't call me, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to have attitude. You can keep your attitude. Somebody going to take your spot. If Borrell don't want to come, Dixon take his spot. Or Romari Williams take his spot. Or Travantis Stewart take his spot. Somebody will gladly don't want to come. You're only going to hurt yourself. So this concept, if I'm not, you can't call me again. There are people that are sitting there, please don't call him again so I can get this game. Please don't call him. Please don't call him so I can get this game. So the person want to turn the call down, that's their prerogative. It's like Jamie Vardy for England. Jamie Vardy said, I'm not playing for England because I'm not sitting behind Harry Kane. That's Jamie Vardy. He's played enough football. He was much older. England went on and played, right? They went to a couple of finals. So the individual have to make a decision that's best for them and their family, and so do the country. And the country's view is that, you know what? Rob Smith give me the best chance to win versus Cranky, then the country going to submit. And if Cranky don't like it, tough. Good night. How are you doing, sir?
Sir, address me as Mr. Manchester United. Don't know. When United win enough, the world heals.
Okay. What position are you in the Premier League?
I don't know.
Of course you don't know. Of course you don't know. I think I know you didn't know. Anyway, we're talking Reggae Boyz football. We're not going to do it digress, but I know you don't know. People, you see how people you win 2 games? When they make you win 2 games in a row, you turn fool.
No,
but go ahead. You turn fool. See, I didn't come on here and put my chest out even though I'm leading the Premier League. You didn't hear me say nothing about Arsenal tonight, did you? I didn't say one word about Arsenal, did you? Did I?
No.
Did I say no? Of course not, because that's what I expect. You win 2 games, you don't expect, and you get all kind. But anyway, go ahead.
From John to Reggae Boyz, I couldn't watch the Arsenal game because both teams are playing. But how your team play?
My team is the best team in the Premier League. That's all I say.
No, how them
They dominated. They dominated this week. They've been dominating. They have 2 teams that can. We're not gonna talk Arsenal people because we don't need to. When you're good, you know you're good. Just move on. Go ahead.
But I just want to say, you see, as fans, sometimes we just have to be measured in terms of our opinions. And sometimes we can be off the rails. But, a couple weeks ago, I remember people saying, oh, like, the season is done. And, Liverpool beat Arsenal is like the biggest thing in the world. And, look at things now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in terms of the Reggae Boyz squad, 26-man squad, I don't think we could have picked a worse squad than this, to be honest.
A worse squad? You think it's that bad?
No. What I mean.
Oh, you mean you couldn't pick a better squad? I know you guys, young kids, talking a bit different from us older folks.
Yeah.
We use better and good. You use bad and worse. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So based on this squad, we see the continuity to an extent. We see the consistency in terms of the selection for this window, which is a great thing, right?
Yeah.
Some of the guys, they have 1 and 2 goals in recent games. Some of them been performing. So I'm looking forward to these 2 games coming up. I mean, listen, we can't talk about the midfield. We've been talking about it for a long while. But despite the midfield not being the best, if you look at the opponents that we're facing, to be fair, we actually get dominated in the midfield most times. But at least in other areas, like, we're actually better than these teams, which is the front 3 to an extent. And maybe
so let me stop you there, Presser. So what are we doing to change that? That's the question. If you know that's your weakness, what are you doing to change it?
But the thing is, I've listened to you on multiple shows, and you have stated that the Caribbean doesn't produce good midfielders. You know what I'm saying?
So we gotta go rent some or buy some.
Yeah, but we hear about some, like the Brandon Cover them and the Splat and some of these guys, right?
Yeah.
But then you have to ask yourself the question: are they ready? That's the thing. So some people might call for them to be implemented in the squad, but then again, are they up to the standard or to a level to actually be implemented?
Well, some people say Tyrese Hall should be given an opportunity if he wants to take up the call, right? Yeah, the coach say he's on the cusp. The coach always say people are on the cusp. The coach is very funny, Trevante's on the cusp, and everything you ask him, oh yeah, we've talked about him forever, and then he bring in some people you never hear about. Like Seymour Reed is young and he's playing and he's starting now and he's getting game time, but should he be brought into the hall? We're full in the forward line. We don't need any more forwards. We need midfielders. We need to experiment midfielders to see who can fit in that midfield. We don't need any more new forward.
I think by now, and which Brandon Covone was a weird one in the unity, but the coach has to answer to that, right? But Latibodier comes back into the team. I suspect that he'll probably play in that number 6 position.
Right.
And I know you have a lot of people, and probably not to beat some people tonight with this Latibodier thing. Like Cranky, as far as I can remember, when Latibodier plays as a number 6, right? He has done fairly well.
Lati does a job. Lati does a job.
Yeah. Defensively, he does a good job for me.
Yeah. I think he's a better defender. I think he's the best defender on the team.
Yeah, if you ask him to go forward now and construct passes and that type of thing, it's just not within his game. He probably can make a little 5-yard pass and later to somebody else.
Yeah.
But in terms of other things that like a Bobby can do or Isaac Hayden in terms of passing range, he doesn't have it. And I'm not going to knock him for it because not every player have that within their arsenal in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But defensively, shielding the back 4, shielding the back 5, whatever the case is, he does that well. The question is fitness because I know that he's just coming back from injury. Haven't really gotten any game time this season, but he's back from injury. So if he can play say like 60 minutes or whatever the case is, and then you drag him off, bring on somebody else, you just have to kind of manage his minutes in that sense, in terms of the opponents that we will be facing in these upcoming 2 games, right? But right now, when they come on to the Reggae Boyz, I'm pretty confident in it, pretty confident, isn't me? But I want to say something still about the World Cup thing next year. Got to really make it. Listen. The coach has to go make some big calls next year. And in terms of picking that squad, one, you're going to pick it off seniority, right?
Presser. You don't think you jump the gun, my youth?
No, hold on, man. We're going to make it.
Presser, so like a Liverpool fan, who think they're in the Premier League after 6 games.
You have confidence in their team, you have confidence in their team.
Okay.
Every season, man, I say, Arsenal go in the league, and no, we're still confident, right? So
because we have the players to be confident.
All right, but look, we're not like so after the USA Mexico. But look here now, right? Next year, we just have to go. The squad is going to pick based on seniority, trust that he has in certain guys in terms of performances, right?
Yeah.
But I think by the next year of the season, in terms of the next half of the season, in terms of what the respective players do in terms of like their form and performances, I think that's where he will pick the bulk of the squad in a sense, right? So when you say, will Tyrese Campbell be picked over Leon Bailey? Let's be fair. If Leon Bailey isn't doing anything come World Cup time, he probably have to go make a call and drop him. You know what I'm saying?
That's not happening.
Especially.
But you understand how this thing works. Come on, Press. You know better than
that. I said, yes, I understand. But this coach probably have to make some big calls because if you have players in front of him who are actually performing, you want to bring those guys, right?
Yeah, look, there's certain players who get latitude. Certain players get latitude.
I would prefer to bring a Damian Lowe who might be not on form compared to a Leon Bailey. I would rather bring a Demarai Gray than a Leon Bailey. I would rather bring a Ethan Pinnock who is not on form than a Leon Bailey because listen, I trust them to perform to an extent. You know what I'm saying? I have trust within these guys and they have performed before. I trust to bring a Latibodier. But in that position, in terms of attacking, we have so many players out there that we can pick from that we have seen who have been on form recently, who when we bring them, we don't play them over certain people because they're more senior to them,
Yeah.
But when you come on to the front 3 crankies, is goals win games and you need players on form. When Demarai Gray wasn't on form, we saw what happened, He am chipping 1 and 2 times, but still wasn't at his best.
But he's getting game time now, right? He's getting a lot of game time.
Yeah, recently going back to England, Birmingham, he is on form, so I will expect that he will contribute massively and, a bit better to the team in terms of overall performances, right? You see, Bailey recently coming to the team, had 1 goal out of all of the striker them. I think him score a goal since he go back, but Sheffield Wednesday is absolutely crap right now. They're not even get paid. So we heard the last time, right? So
yeah, they have problems as a club. So I don't think it's Bailey more. Look, the game before the last one he played really well. His dad said so too. I actually follows that. I think they had either won and drew that game, but the last game they got 5? They get 5 today from Coventry or something.
Wow.
I think they got 5 actually. I think he started with Jamal up front, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to Jamal Lowe,
he's playing for I think he's playing for Sheffield Wednesday, isn't
he? Yeah. The last time he was in the squad, didn't really perform. That was the Cuba window last year. But we haven't seen him back since then.
Because they haven't called him.
Well, true.
So Jamal start up front with Bailey Kanamari today.
But overall, I like the team. And you look at somebody like Shamar because obviously he was unhappy when he wasn't selected in couple windows previous. And then since coming back, he scored 2 goals, I believe.
Say that again?
2 goals, right? How much goals Nicholas scored in the last window? 2 goals or 1?
He scored the header.
Mm.
But I can't recall. I've never been in a goal.
Probably about 1 or 2. But he's back into the team performing. So, once players are called upon, you just have to go there and show the coach what you are made of and how you can add to the team, right?
Yeah.
So Nicholson did that, other guys did that as well. So it's a good vibe in the camp, and as a Reggae Boyz fan, it's a good vibe for me, personally speaking.
But I'm glad you like the squad. There's some people who don't like the squad. There's always people going to be missing, right? So you could say Trevante Stewart probably should be in it. And the question is, well, at whose expense? Right? You could say Tyrese Hall should be in there. I think he could be in there at nobody's expense. You drop a forward. You have too many forwards anyway. You have too many forwards. You have a bunch of defenders. Some of them are interchangeable. Mason Holwood can play right back. Dex can play right back. Lati can play right back. You have a lot of players. What's his name can play center back. Amari Bell, isn't he playing center back for Charlton now? He can play center back. On the left side too, you have Damian Lowe and Hogan on the right side. You could have dropped King or Holgate. You have to bring both of them. You could have dropped King or Holgate.
Listen,
you have to bring both of them.
When Holgate just came into the team, the first game they beat him. But after that, I think Holgate has been.
No, but the point I'm making is I understand what you're saying. The point I'm making is this: they're both right. They are 3 right-footed center backs, right? You can carry 2.
Who do you drop out King and Holgate?
I don't want to say because I want to get beaten. Say I'm fighting loco.
All right. Me probably would have dropped King as well because I think Holgate is a bit more solid.
He's more experienced and he's more mature into the playing. But yeah. I think he brings more to the game.
I don't think it's a big loss if you drop either, to be honest.
True.
But I would go for Holgate personally, right?
But I'm saying you don't need 3 right center backs, right? You need another midfielder because you're missing 2 in this window. You need another dynamic center midfielder. Russell is not playing well. I know he scored the last game, but he's not playing well. He's disappearing from games.
But then again, is that how the coach wants him to play?
No, the coach don't want you to disappear from games. The coach don't want his midfield to be dominated. Nobody in football wants midfield to be dominated. Even I'm playing counter-attack in football. Trinidad dominated midfield.
You understand this, right? And I'm not comparing him to this individual. But this is the role I think he should be doing. Box to box, like a Jude Bellingham, right?
Yeah.
You don't watch Bellingham. He does it defensively and he does it going forward. But he gets stuck in the midfield, right? He drops back, he wins position, he lays off the passes. And I'm not talking about extraordinary, extravagant passes, just simple passes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He gets dirty in that midfield. He does the hard work. And I think I need to see more of that from Russell. Not only crashing into the box and, scoring headers and these type of stuff. Sometimes I feel as if on that right side of the midfield, he isn't central, closing off those passing lanes and that type of thing. And sometimes it's not only about tackling, but it's just closing down the channels where a pass is going to be played in, right? You force the opposition to go somewhere in which they don't have strength in that area or quality in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Force them to go out wide. If you have good fullbacks, especially 1v1, them can stop the wing of them. These type of things, So it's not always about, tackling somebody and getting dirty and sliding and all these type of things. It's just being smart in terms of forcing them into areas of the pitch that they don't play good in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think I need to see more of that from Russell.
Right. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear it, sir. Appreciate the call.
And my last point, just go upon 2 goals and go Chris upon 3 goals. What catch up?
I want to go Chris goal a penalty. So then upon 2 goals each of open play.
All right. So
I hope that make you feel better. And go find out where your team is.
All
right, bless up. So I see people saying, please honor the coach's request. Support the players. Everybody can't play. One Jamaica. So let me say this, Reggae Boy. I love when people say these things, So Jamaican fans are not the only ones who have these in-depth conversation. In fact, almost every country who care about their team, whether club or country, we're going to have this conversation about players who will be playing. Did not Arteta get blasted for not playing an offensive team against Liverpool? Or when we played, what else we played? The 2 games we played, he played a defensive team with Merino, Rice, and and Zubamendi, then you get blasted. People gonna have conversations. Jamaica is not what makes this coach so pristine and so in a situation where he can't be critiqued or we can't say anything. That's nonsense. I just hear England team get picked. People are saying, why is Greenwood not in the team? Why is Foden not in the team? Why is this other player in the team? Right? Why is Watts in the team? That's normal conversation to have. And into the environment where you have 1,000,001 platforms and you have sports radio, we're going to have these conversations, and they should be had. Nobody can tell me that Daniel Johnson shouldn't have gotten a call up way back when, and he's playing regular football, maybe more than most of these players. Nobody can tell me that we can call up Seymour and not read and not call up, for example, a Tyrese Hall when the midfield is woefully lacking. And people like Russell are not playing any football. None of these midfielders are getting regular game time, apart from maybe Bobby Reed just came back. He started Saturday. Most of them don't have regular game time. And Isaac Hayden and Palmer are not available for the game. Why don't you bring like a Tyrese all in? Somebody who's more dynamic, somebody who's actually playing football on a regular basis and contributing goals and playing well. And you want to cap him also. Last but not least, come on. Those are logical things that should be answered. People should ask the question. What do you think about center back? Yeah, Bell, doesn't Bell play center back nowadays for Charlton? Isn't that where he come on and play sometimes? And he plays in a back three sometime when he was at Ipswich, right? Well, Warner Brown is different because forwards are different from midfielders, right, Henry? Midfielders should not disappear. Forwards can disappear because they get marked up in the game. They're not getting service. To me, Russell disappears for the last 4 games he played. It's appeared the entire Gold Cup, and he scored the other day, but he disappeared most of the game and pop up. That's not good enough. We got lucky against Trinidad, and some people don't understand that we got lucky against Trinidad. They keep thinking because we won the game. You should always think about how do I build my resume? Because at some point, if you're not playing consistently well, he's going to catch up with you. And I hope he doesn't catch up with us at the Curaçao game. But I'm not comfortable with this midfield. So the midfield is going to be Ian Frey, who's mainly playing at right back. Bobby Reed wasn't going to let game time. John Russell, who's not playing well. Kara Anderson, who doesn't have a ton of game time. Joshan Anglin, who, no comment. That's the midfield, people. That's ridiculous. And then we go hear Reggae Boy saying, oh, you need to support the team and don't criticize the coach. I don't understand. I don't have a problem with the defense that we select. It's the same old people. We just recycle them. They're the regulars. That's fine. I don't see any defender should be added or not added. Maybe Rico Henry, but I'm not sure Rico Henry. I thought he was available last time and didn't come, so maybe the coach is in his feelings. I don't know why Rico Henry didn't call. But he also have 2 left back. He may think, you know what? I have enough cover there. I don't need Rico Henry. Even though Rico Henry's playing in the Premier League. Not necessarily starting for Brentford every game, but he's in the Premier League. And I thought I was told by someone in JFF that when they're a Premier League player, we don't question them and challenge them. So I don't know. It's interesting. So I don't have a problem with the defense. I don't have a problem with the goalkeepers. It's the same old goalkeepers, even though I think Jamal Wade didn't do the best job the last window. He just didn't as a backup. He got his chance and he didn't take it. Like I think he lost it, basically. But he's still here. And in the midfield, Isaac Hayden got a lot of cursing before he came. He's our most important player in the team. And he got 2 yellow cards. So did Casey Palmer. A lot of people think Casey shouldn't come back. But the coach likes him. But the midfield is a problem, people. A major problem. If your midfield don't play well, how are you going to get the ball up to your forwards? Right? Now, this is a team I picked for the game against. This is my suggestion for the game against Curaçao. When I look at this team, that's my view. You guys think this team will be a team? That's the team I'm looking at. Excuse me. There's a team I'm looking at, people. So this is a team I think we'll pick for the Curaçao game. By the way, I just put on the board my I should drop that in the chat. Hope you guys subscribe to the channel. But that's the team I am suggesting that we pick for Curaçao game, given who is available. What are you guys' thoughts? Let me put it back up on the board. This is a team I'm suggesting that we pick for the Curaçao game. Oh, Lord. Why do you do this, Reggae Boyz vlogger? Apparently, you don't follow any other country. Why do you do this, Reggae Boy vlogger? You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about. These are standard for any country. You go listen to Talk Sports, supposed to be the biggest radio station in the world. You go listen to BBC. You go listen to any of those that may bring sport. Why do I even put up your comments? You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Is this Rudolph the same as the other Rudolph? What are you talking about? What's the question, Farmer? Owen Owen says, Casey and Russell don't play well together. One starts and the other sits. I totally agree with that, Owen Owen. People saying, there's a lot of DJ call-out, actually. A lot of DJ call-out. So did the question get asked? I can't recall as to why we're not bringing DJ. I think that question should be asked of we should ask the question to the coach as to why DJ is not getting a call out. Yeah, Cephas guarantee a start. Cephas will start. The coach loves Cephas. You have to know the coach loves in the order. Coach loves Cephas. He's a 1 in, what we call Cephas, 1 in 10, 1 in probably 7. We have 1 good game in 7 games, and he might always score do something brilliant, and then that keep him in play for the next 5 or 6 games. We see him run past people in Bermuda and then watching Miss Trinidad and I think he knows him up there. Cephas now come off the bench. Cephas will start. Amen. You said DJ is too old. I see Henderson play for England and he's mid-30s. And two could bring him back. And people in England complain about Henderson, but then he's performing and they have to admit he's performing. I don't think your age should be a deterrent as to put a player in the team. I think if they're playing well, you play them. Jurase would take DJ over Palmer. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Palmer's game. Some don't like his attitude either. The coach will start King not Pinnock. No, that's not happening. He's going to start Pinnock. He's not starting King over Pinnock. No matter how much he likes King. So, Demari, I'd love to make bets, I bet you that Tyrese not starting. First of all, Tyrese is not a right footer. He put him on the right, but because he put Cephas there. Right? Not happening. I know Marlon, but you got to ask Miran Gordon about DJ. They should put Miran up there to answer the question. Can Miran pick any locally known players? That's how I see it. Now, the coach getting to know some local players like Nicholas and others, but I think Miran Gordon is the one who decides which local players, whether it's Trevante Stewart, whether it's DJ. I think he does that. So would I start Cephas over Campbell? I would not start either of them. That's just me. I probably wouldn't start either of them. I know Tyrese Campbell is starting for his team, and he plays okay, but he needs to be more dynamic. Oh, Lord. I'm not going to become a Reggae Boy because you have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just conflating things and confusing things. You know what you're talking about. No, our team is old, Aim Henry. I would admit that. They're old. Our team is old. Like really old. The entire defense, apart from Lembakiza, because Latty's not playing defense most time. So Pinnock, Bell, Greg Lee, Lowe, maybe King. King is young. So Lemby and King are not that old, but Oldgate is almost 30 if he's not 30. Yeah, most of them are getting up there in age. Most of them are getting up there in age. So Look, I think after this World Cup is done, that's why we need to bring in people like Hall, because we don't have any continuity. It's an old team. Bobby Reed is over 30, right? Isn't Shamar up there like late 20s? Bailey late 20s, Gray late 20s, all them getting up there. We need some young players coming in. And people like Dixon and Tyrese are still pretty young. And Bailey. But the midfield and the defense is getting up there. They're getting long in the tooth. No, Rob Smith. That's so what you're looking at is not just lost ball, it's completed passes. I think the last game, Cephas had 28 touches. He lost the ball, 10, 11 times, and he had 8 passes. I think Campbell had, 30 touches? Similar loss ratio, but he made 14 of 15 passes, I think it is. Cephas don't pass the ball. So Cephas not bringing back into play. Cephas don't pass the ball. You can't make 8 passes out of about 28 touches. He don't pass the ball. He gets it, he stops it, he sits on it, and he looks to run. Campbell is passing the ball. But Campbell, I'm not going to sit here and make a case for Campbell because I don't think he did enough to make a case for. Yeah, I think when your game is not guaranteed, you're going to play more conservative, right? So I think that's what it is, Marlon. He's playing very conservative. He's playing conservative. Demar says, Bailey and Blade get 20-30, but Dixon Campbell can Marty needs a giant leap in the next one. Well, we'll have more players coming through, right? So, yeah. No Reggae Boyz blogger. You're not right. You have no idea what people talk about their country and their players. When the team is picked, people still are they're beating Tuchel. They're beating Tuchel. And first of all, they're much more intrusive. You know what, people? Go listen to the Tuchel press conference when they get asked questions. And the players should say, we're so sorry for asking this question, but they're going to ask it. Because they realize their fans are going to beat them. This ain't American media. They're going to ask the tough questions in Europe. They ask tough questions. They're not going to be like American media, deferring to the person they're questioning. No. Oh, Lord, Farm. I'm not putting it a Farm. You're trying to get me in trouble. Yeah, Campbell's better on the left, actually. He's better on the left. That's where he plays for his club team. So it makes it difficult when you put him on the right because he's forced on the right because Cephas is preferred on the left. And the coach likes Cephas. He's not going to play over Cephas. But Demar, that's the point, Demar. They're not going to ask no softball questions. They asked if him and Billingham have issues because remember he made some critical comment about Billingham the previous window, and he said something about Billingham. He's basically saying Billingham made people uncomfortable in the team, and he said it out. He did it in the German way because in Germany they're more direct, and in Holland they're more direct. It doesn't land well in England because when you say these things, people think that you're being difficult, but the press can ask those questions. Yeah, but I'm saying they make it uncomfortable for the people being questioned, right? That's how you ask questions. You don't ask them softball questions. Who want to hear softball questions? You want to ask questions which are relevant and which is going to get to things that you want clarity about. So the coach, you have a problem with Billingham because you criticized him in the last window. Do you have a problem with him? Is that why you didn't call him? The question needs to be asked. If we ask that in Jamaica, people like Reggae Boy Vlogger says we're divisive and we're toxic and we're this. Which makes no sense to me. Because that has to be clarified. Because Billingham is England's best player. People may say Harry Kane, but Billingham is the best player in the England team. And people want to know why he's not in the team. That makes a lot of sense. Now, some may think it's uncomfortable to ask that question, but that's how it is. If you ask it in Jamaica, people like Reggae Boyz Vlogger think you're being divisive and you don't know what you're talking about and you're being rude and you just like, stop. I'm going to put a big comment. Jamaican support and vloggers are some of the most negative around. Is a fact. Ask the track and field athletes. So let me say this, people. I don't hear the athletes complain when they get compliments. Why do they complain when they get too much compliments? Why don't they get too much compliments? You got to take it both ways. You can only want the good. Life is about balance. You can only want the good things. You got to take the bad with the good. I don't hear anybody complain when they get all them laudatory comments about how well they've done and what great they are. But as soon as they get something which they perceive as negative, they lose their mind. Now, can some people go over the top? Yes. I heard one blogger came out and beat Cadamarti and he shouldn't be in the team and shouldn't be this. And then Cadamarti shut him up. That's what you do as a player. You shut him up. So shut us up. But the coach, since day one, every coach I know, look at Mexico's coach. Sometimes these coaches get fired when they play 2 games and they get fired. Play 5 games, they get fired. What are we talking about? You think they get fired because fans love them? It's about performance. Don't know, Devon Mitchell. Good question. Don't know if he has Jamaican heritage. But I don't think we should say that. I get the same view, which is, these YouTube bloggers are so toxic and they're so this. And I wonder if they watch YouTube channel. I wonder if they watch regular media. And it depends on which media you're watching. Because people have to ask difficult questions. People can just give you praise when the praise is not deserved. If you win, most times you get praise. If you lose, you don't get criticism. That's how life is. If you play well, you get the flowers. If you don't get the flowers. You get criticism. I get that sense through Demar, which is why I get criticized about my questions, which is the coach has certain pedigree. So how come you have the audacity to ask the coach a question? That's what I get. Who gives you, how presumptuous are you to be asking that coach? Who are you to ask the coach a question? And I laugh when I get these things because my philosophy is, you put your pants on 1 leg at a time. If you sit on your bed, it's 2 legs at a time. I do the same. So I can ask you anything. I tell my staff the same thing. When you go talk to the senior executive, you know what? Don't be afraid. They're executive, but they start like you did, and they progress up the line. When you go to challenge them and question them, don't be afraid. Ask them the question. That's how it should be in life. We have 2 games to play this window. And my hope is that we will put our best foot forward. Now, the coach expressed some concern about AstroTurf in Curaçao, which is a true concern because a lot of English players don't like to play on it. It may be better than the old AstroTurf, but they don't like to play on it. So at the end of the day, so what are you guys' prediction actually? Probably doing it too early actually, but is it still do you guys think this is going to be an easy game against Curaçao? I don't know how it would be, given the quality of the players they have. But I get this. I'm hearing this thing about soup that is easy and we're going to win easily. When I look at this team, it's an okay team. I don't get excited about the team. I think it's an okay team. It's a decent team. I'm glad Blake is back. I think Andre Blake probably is the best player on the team, to be honest, in terms of consistent performance. I think the defense is okay. I think the forward line is decent. I think the midfield is a challenge. Jamaica 3-1. I'm not that confident. I think we give a good account of ourselves, but I didn't like how we played against Trinidad. I wasn't impressed with us against Trinidad. I was not impressed. And we were at home. I wasn't impressed. Demar thinks Curaçao would be tough, but we could still win. I think we're going to miss Hayden big time. We don't have that. People say Hayden just make 2-yard pass and he pass backwards. I love my CDM to be controlling the game and move the ball around and not turn the ball over. Hayden had less turnover in 2 games than Cephas and all them players, all of them. Palmer had in there. He had less turnover in 2 games than most of them had in 1 game. I think he had like 4 and 5 or something in that region, and he had more touches than all of them. Twice as much touches, frankly, than some of them. And his turnover ratio was little or nothing. There's some people who have composure on the ball, who see the play before it occurs, and who make the right play. Odell is drinking liquor. I don't know why you're drinking this time of the night. It's just 9:47. It ain't gonna be no 4-0. Leon is more rational, more reasonable. He says 1-1. Yeah, Chung is good actually. If Chung is missing, it's a big deal for them. He's a good player. He's a very good player. He's a good player. He was very impressive against Bermuda actually. But Bermuda gave them a hard time. So I don't want to use one game to equate it to the other and say, well, because this game went this way, XYZ. They did draw with Trinidad in Trinidad. So if we win the 2 games this window, we're in excellent position to qualify. Excellent position. Excellent position to qualify. Because Trinidad play Bermuda and Curaçao this window, don't they? So that game is the game. If they could draw that game, we'd be in a good place. But Trinidad has to go to Curaçao. No Odell. They have some decent players. So Devon says Blake, Pinnock, Lowe, Bell, Dexter, Latti, Bobby, Russell. So the only difference you have, Devon, you playing Latti instead of Frey. And I could see that actually. But because he put Latti in defense, then, it does beg the question, does he think about Latti as a defender versus a midfielder? But you're probably right about Latti replacing Frey in the midfield. If we win both, we qualify. If we win both, we have 12 points. It depends on what happens in the other games, right? I did the calculation. It depends on what happens in the other games. So if say Curaçao, but if we win both, then Curaçao will only have a maximum of 7 points. Trinidad, if they win both with a maximum of 7 points, we still don't qualify. Because we could lose the last 2 games. Well, we act as if we could lose the last 2 games and be on 12, and they could be on 13 if they win out. So if Curaçao, if we get to 12, we still don't qualify because you could have 7 points as Curaçao or 7 points as Trinidad. One of Curaçao or Trinidad would drop out. So if we win, we'd only have to compete with Curaçao or Trinidad in terms of possibility of who qualify. We'd have 12 points, and the max they could get to is 13. So if we win 2, it's almost there actually. Tima says Sifa will start because the most threatening winger, both to the opponent and himself. I would agree. Bless up, Pastor. How you doing, Pastor? Good night, Pastor. How you doing? We're almost closing on the program. We only got 10 minutes left. 10 more minutes before we close down the show. I'll see a couple of things before I go. I will have some more shows. Obviously, I'm going to do a watch along, obviously, of the game. This is one game I sort of dread, actually. If we were to get a win, we'd be in a good spot. Because we should beat Bermuda at home. At least I hope so. But the ball is round. Curaçao lose to us, they will be on 5 points to draw with Trinidad. No, I was saying if they win, be right. If they draw with Trinidad and we win both games, we're through. But if they win, either team win. So if Trinidad win both games, they'll be on 7 points. If Curaçao lose to us and win their game, they'll be at 7 points. So they have a possible 6 in the next window. Demar said Trinidad went up against coach in Trinidad and disappeared. Yeah, well, Cephas is a bully, so he does bully inferior teams, and sometimes when he play against better players, he struggles because he doesn't set up his defender and he doesn't pass the ball. I keep telling people he made 8 passes in the last game, 8 out of 28 touches. When what's his name made twice as much passes as him and had similar touches. In terms of Campbell, Cephas needs to pass the ball more. He needs to know when to pass and when to dribble. He doesn't. But anyway, I'm going to close on the program, people. First, I'm going to say this. I do appreciate everyone who came out tonight to join me. I didn't plan to do a show tonight. Actually, at the last minute, I decided, you know what? Since the squad came out and I did listen to the press conference, I started listening to the press conference, didn't listen to it. I figured we'd do it together. I do hope that we get through this window unscathed, and then therefore we all got to relax for the next window. I hope Trinidad go with Curaçao, we win both games, and we just start partying, and then we can bring in the Greenwoods of the world and the Rico Henrys and Max Aaron and drop the players who are not up to snuff. I'm gonna get beaten for saying that. I'm gonna get beaten for saying that. I'm telling you, people, that's what's gonna happen. I don't care what you guys say. That's gonna happen. Okay. I know how people are. You guys gonna say the same thing as soon as you qualify. If we qualify, you're gonna be thinking about how can we get to the second round of the World Cup. And money talks. This is not about loyalty now. It's about money. First round team, I think, is about 12 million. I don't know what you get in second round, but I'm sure it's a much more. You want to go to the second round. You can't get the second round with this team. I'm sorry. I don't think so. Yeah, and my understanding is that certain players are being pursued. So no stay there. This is not the only bunch. I want to make this prediction. You know what I said I'm going to do the other day? I'm going to start writing down my predictions and time stamping them, because I've been making predictions and they're all coming through. Well, most of them coming through. If we get to the World Cup, we're going to bring in at least 6 players. Let me just say this again. 6 new players. So no stay there. Talk about why cranky and fear and this. I don't know how I'm going to fight it. By the way, people, if you have not subscribed to the channel, both Balanced View and Cranky Life, please do so. If you have not hit the like button, please do so. I truly appreciate it. Well, no, we only have one AstroTurf game. So if they don't want to play AstroTurf, they just miss this game and start the next one. They can come next window. But I'm telling you, new players are going to come in. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm going to predict at least 5 or 6 going to come in. And you guys going to like the new ones if they do come in. 16 million to round 32. All right. You think Jamaica give up a chance to get $4 million because them think some players. You think so we get 12 million for first round, 16? You think JFF will give up 4 million because no more hurt player feeling? You heard enough people feeling for $4 million, you see? That's not happening. Because you know Jamaicans start. Jamaicans are like the US. They get to second round, they think they can win the World Cup. They're like, if we just beat this team, we can play low block and get some counter from Cephas and win. Yeah, not happening. They're coming. So we can complain all we want. And look, people, it's not that I don't empathize with these people. I do empathize with the players. I would be, knowing me how I used to play football, I'm a little football I used to play. I tell you, if I am not playing, I'm not even part of that organization. I'm going somebody else who can get game time. But with national team, it's different. You can only play for one country at a time. You have nowhere to go. So if you don't get called, too bad. That's how life is. You got to get over it. So I don't blame the players who will be very upset. I'm sure Paul Young and Freddie Butler were beside themselves not going to the World Cup. But as Demar says, hurt feelings don't pay the bill. And if you're in the squad, don't be surprised, especially if you're on the fringes. I'm going to give you an example. Like, I'll be very surprised. Like, we know Blake going to the World Cup. Andre Blake going to the World Cup. I don't care who come in, he going to the World Cup. So if we go to Chelsea and get Sanchez to naturalize, and this Andre Blake will go World Cup, right? Guaranteed. But apart from Andre Blake, Bailey going to the World Cup. Guaranteed. Andre Blake going, Bailey going. I'll say, just give him what's out there, Damari Gray going to the World Cup. That's 3. Hayden going to the World Cup. That's 4. Damian Lowe going to the World Cup. That's 5. You notice I picked up 3 local players already. I don't see anybody else guaranteed. I don't see one more guaranteed player in the entire squad. Bailey Kadamarti. But if you bring in Cameron Archer and a few more people, I'm not sure Pinnock will get to the World Cup. He's going to be healthy. Pinnock is always injured. Hayden, Gray, Bailey, Lowe, Blake. Yep. Demar, totally agree with you. Kadamarti, maybe, but it all depends on his form. Bobbery going to the World Cup? No, Lemba not guaranteed going to the World Cup. Bobby Reed, possibly, because Bobby Reed is a soldier. And you need those utility players. But if suppose you go and you get the Ramsey brothers, for example, and you get Greenwood come in, and you get what's his name at Juventus? His name is slipping me now, the defender. And you get Kyle Walker-Peters at right back coming. And people are going to be like, no, we can't take in all these players. You're the coach said, when somebody asked the coach about is he locked on the squad, the coach said no. He basically says no. He ain't locked on the squad. If you're a coach and you're in a short-term assignment, you don't give a damn about players' feeling. You just want to win and make your name and save your reputation because you didn't get England to the World Cup. Chance to get Jamaica there, you can go create some upset. You can get the best players, especially play in the Premier League. You're going to get the Kyle Walker-Peters. You're going to get the what's his name, left back for Crystal Palace. What? Mitchell. You're going to Tyreek Mitchell. You're going to bring them in. The Ramsey brothers. You're going to bring them in. McNeil, if you want to come, you're going to bring him in. If Greenwood changes his mind, you're going to bring him in. I'm telling you, people. And you guys will be saying, you know what? But if this person played this position, he plays this position, we have a chance against this country. And if you're a player out there, you may be like, this is crazy. I work all this hard. I fly all this, and you're going to bench me, or you're not going to put me in the squad. I can tell you this. If you're playing for England and Tuchel bench you would take the bench. So if Jamaica bench you, get over yourself. I'm sorry, get over yourself. Because I don't hear anybody whining when Tuchel bench them because they don't get the England team. So don't whine here. We're not some sideshow. I'm sorry. I don't want this whining about you not being a team because you didn't get picked. Like I hear somebody saying about a player. I'm not going to call the player's name. Sorry. That's how life is. The coach call who we think the better players are. We will not agree sometimes that we criticize the coach. That's part of the whole program. But anyway, let me close on by saying thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful, well, it's night now. And let me do this one more time before I go. So I said this already. If you're in the New York region, my soccer team is celebrating their 50th anniversary. No, I wasn't around when they were celebrating their anniversary. It started by two gentlemen. One just passed away last week, actually. I went to his funeral. And him and his brother passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. But we have our annual dinner dance. I'm emceeing the event, so you know it's going to be fun. We do have a short play. We have some steel band music, which is very, very good. You know, I should have played it, but I don't want to get dinged by YouTube because the music is popular music. But it's really, really good, people. The food is excellent. You know what I'm going to drop a video. I may drop a video which highlights some of the things from that event. Maybe a short 5-minute video or something. You can see it. But if you're in the New York region and you want a good event to go to, next week Saturday is from 7 to 2 p.m. Link me up on the number on the screen, 347-728-8625. And I'll get you tickets. It's $75. It's a contribution. It's a non-for-profit organization. The funds are used to support our soccer team. It's a community club, as we call it. We will have some politicians there too because it's politics season. So we're going to have 2 local politicians there. And then, why is the name slipping me? The former ambassador of Jamaica. I'm getting senile in the people. This is really bad. He's going to be there also. Why is his name just drop off my tongue? Let me just give myself a second. I'm seeing his face. Like, you see somebody's face, you can't remember the name. Who's the former ambassador of Jamaica? You guys drop in the chat for me. I just mentioned his name. I don't know why his name is slipping me. You know what? I'm not going to wait and look it up. But he's going to be at the event too. He's the guest speaker. But it's a lot of fun, actually. I cannot believe it. He went to the same school I went to. He went to the same college I went to. This is bad. Boy, I'm getting senile. Nick Perry. Jesus, this is awful. On national YouTube, can't remember nothing. So Nick Perry is our guest speaker for the evening. He's going to talk for 5 minutes, but Nick doesn't know what 5 minutes means. It's Jamaica 5 minutes. So it's going to be like longer. He's a great speaker, actually. I love hearing him talk about different things. So Devon, if you want to get Devon, let me know. It's next week Saturday. It's a good event to go to. It's a lot of fun. And he says, who's the DJ? DJ Baby. Is it Baby Q? I think Baby Q is one of them previous DJ from a while back who's have a good following. So, but anyway, if you want to come to the event, let me know. Link me on the number. I'll get you tickets. It's only $75. You can afford it. And come have some fun next week Saturday, 7 from 2. I'm emceeing the event. I've done it for the last number of years. It's actually a lot of fun event and good people. Devon says, cranky. People need to understand what is meant by boyfriends, and that's why Hayden isn't. Yeah, Devon, I think that's part of the problem, Devon, which is people don't realize that turnovers are what kill you in football. You give the ball away, and some people keep the ball really well. When they keep the ball, the other team can get the ball. So you rest on offense, You can press on defense. And by the way, people, Devon Port is the one who brought Hayden in. The coach helped to get him over the line, but Devon is the de facto JFF recruiter. So nobody from JFF talk about them recruit nobody, can recruit nobody. Devon recruiter, and Devon a part of JFF. And then now give Devon the recognition he deserves. So me I call it out. Devon are the one with chase people 24/7, go talk to them agent, and bring them into the team. And then Devon, they want to take credit for some people they don't have nothing to do with. They want to be advisor and chastiser and everything else. They're not recruiting nobody because they don't know nobody for recruiting nobody. Trust me. Anyway, Devon, bless up to yourself. We need you to keep on recruiting and bring some of the better players in so we can have a good team. Until we can get the 12 million and invest in Jamaica, well, you have to invest our 12 million, but whatever them do, hopefully can help. All right? So Devon deserves respect, people. Because he has done a bunch in bringing players in. And sometimes bring them in there and play them, especially the youngsters. But he keeps on doing it. Yes, Michael John, I agree. So anyway, people, thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening. I do appreciate you. And no, what's his name? Give me a hard time about, was it Odell? About track and field people. The track and field people, most of them who are on my Balance View channel have been wonderful. They're very supportive and I appreciate them. Just like I support the football contingent. So, by the way, people, I need to get to 5,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 4,830 something. So I need about 160 something. So subscribe, people, and refer the channel and let others subscribe, all right? And Devon, you get enough love, Devon. So keep up doing it to Devon because the people appreciate you. Even the JFF don't. Anyway, good night, everyone. You know, I'm going to play Ota this time. I'm going to play my Cranky Live thing. You know, I haven't played in a while. So have a good night. I will be back here next week. I may do a pregame. I will probably do a pregame show, a watch-along show, and a post-game show next week. All right, people? So you, let me set my outro. You have a wonderful evening, and I will see you when I see you. Peace out. Have a good night. Cranky Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Cranky Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Tell them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Life. Tune into Cranky Life. Like up Cranky Life. Subscribe to Cranky Life. Cranky Life coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Life sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Life. Me say fi tell them Cranky Life. Me say fi heed them Cranky Life. On them Cranky Life. Cranky Life will be around. Cranky Life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Cranky Life.
cranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky life. Cranky life, cranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, heed them.